Have you ever got in trouble or had a problem and you tried to get it fixed before anybody found out, or you had too much pride to ask for help? Hello everyone, my name's Jeff, and I just want to tell you a little bit about myself before I get started here. I'm over 50 and I just like to share things about life and to help people and hopefully encourage people. And I want to share a true story that happened in my life and put some application to it to life as we live it and know it. But I got to share this story with you first. When I was about 16 years old in 1986, there's a friend of mine. We was always doing different things, playing in the mud and riding our three-wheelers and getting our four-wheel drives and going mud riding and different things like that. Well, on a Sunday afternoon in 1986, we had a Chevy Love truck. My friend had one and I had one, and both of them were yellow. Mine was jacked up just a little bit, but we named those trucks Bananas. His was Banana 1, mine was Banana 2. Well, Banana 2, which is my truck, was at my house, and I lived about 15 minutes or so away from a buddy of mine, and I had rode home from church with him that day, and we just kind of hanging out on Sunday afternoon, and so we went a little bit joyriding. And his uncle had some land right down the road from him, and they had clear cut that land off, all the timber off of it. I mean, they pulled the stumps and everything off that land, so it was, it was slick as a pasture out there. But the issue was it had just been cut, and we had a lot of rain, so they was just, anywhere from 2 to 6 inches of mud out there. And like I said, we like to play in the mud in our four-wheel drives. Well, my buddy, it's probably around 3 o'clock on that Sunday afternoon, and we whirled off the road, and he thought it'd be fun to go out there and slide sideways and cut some donuts. And we was out there having the time of our life. I mean, we was cutting some tailspins. Everything was going great until we fell in a stump hole. Now, guys, when I say a stump hole, I'm not talking about just, a little old stump or tree you'd cut out of your yard. I'm talking massive oak tree stump hole. It was probably 5 foot deep, and don't even know how wide it was with the root base. They pulled this thing up, I guess, with a track hoe or whatever, and it looked level across that just like it did the rest of it, because, they'd went in there and filled all that in, and right across of it, top of it, and they was probably going to plan on sowing it, in grass or whatever. Of course, us boys is out there carrying it up with the truck. But for whatever reason, we fell off in that stump hole when we sliding around nose first. And you just imagine running a little old bitty Chevy Love truck off in a big old stump hole like that. Your front end sitting like this right here, and your back end sitting up like this. Well, if your front end sitting down in a hole like this, and you've got mud up over the hood, and you got mud against your door, so you can't open the door to get out. So how you gonna get out? Well, you can't roll your windows down and crawl out because you'll be in the hole. Well, we knew the back end was on, more solid ground, so luckily he had a sliding glass window on the back, and we slid ourselves out that sliding glass window and crawled our way up to the tailgate and over the tailgate on the bumper and on the ground, more level ground. It was in mud on the other side. Well, what was going through us two boys' mind at that time is we got to fix this problem. His daddy's going to kill us. His uncle's going to be mad at us, and we got to get out of here. Well, instead of owning up to what we done and we didn't have cell phones back then, going down to the house and, taking whatever punishment was coming to us and say, hey, we made a mistake. We made a mess here, and we're in a stump hole. No, our wheels get to turning, and we're going to try to fix this. Well, we go up to his brother's house, which he had a two-wheel drive truck, 67 model truck with a engine block in the back of it because he was a mechanic. He'd been carrying that thing around in his truck, so he drives out there and tries to pull us out. Well, that wasn't a good idea. We get that truck stuck along with the truck we got in the stump hole, so now we got a bigger mess. We got 2 trucks stuck. Well, we see his parents go by because we could see the road up there, but lucky they didn't see us down there in that hole. We sneak up to his house, and the boy, knowing better, he goes up there and gets his daddy's pretty much brand new John Deere tractor. Well, we got it stuck. We got it stuck. So what do we got? We got 3 vehicles stuck in this mud. Our problem's growing. Our problem's getting worse. Well, we go get a truck, a utility truck now, 2-wheel drive, that's heavy as well, but we had nothing else to get. Luckily, we was able to stay on dry enough ground to get that tractor out. And we was trying to pull the old 2-wheel drive 67 Ford out. Well, we ended up getting that utility truck stuck, so we're back to 3 vehicles stuck. Well, we got a buddy, actually it was my friend's cousin. He had a big old truck. It was actually the closest thing to a road legal monster truck that you could have. It had humongous mud tires on it, 4-wheel drive. He actually did crush a car with this truck back in the day. Well, we ended up getting the truck out of the stump hole with that big old truck. But when he hooked to that 67 Ford with all that weight, and it hit the frame of that truck was on the ground, it was just buried. We got that big old 4-wheel drive stuck. Well, then we carry the tractor back up to the house. We pressure washed it, cleaned it up, and put it back in the barn. Well, there's a bigger problem brewing. Bigger problem was brewing. We didn't make it to church that night because we were down there trying to fix our problem. Well, we went to a small church and everybody was closed, so they always went out to eat on Sunday nights. And I don't know if any of y'all older people remember Quincy's, but anyway, they always went to Quincy's on Sunday night. Well, needless to say, the man dropped his wife off at Quincy's and he comes home. And we're all up there at the house and we're trying to still assess this problem right here that we have. And my buddy's actually fixing to carry me home, and when his daddy pulls up, he is not a happy man because he looks out there and he sees all the mud out there on the pavement, and kind of finds out what's going on. And it just was not a good day for us boys, I can tell you that. There was a little tail whooping that happened later on after all that. But I want to say that, to say this, to apply this life, and I know it was a little long story. But you know, us as men, when we face a problem, we're going through life, and we're going through things, and everything's going really good, and we're having a good time. We may have asked for a little bit of trouble because we was maybe doing a little something we wasn't supposed to do, or maybe you wasn't. You're just going through life and you fall in a stump hole. And you can't open the doors, you can't roll the windows down, and you got to crawl out the back glass because it's pretty big. There's some pretty big issue in your life. And I don't know if y'all folks are like me, but when there's a problem, there's something going on, I want it to be over with really quick. And maybe it may even be something that I've done that's a little bit embarrassing that I fell into, or I'm in something that's happened in life, and I've got too much pride and I won't ask for help, or it's something I've done that I've brought up on myself, and I'm going to try to fix this and hide it just like we tried to get that fixed to keep from getting caught in what we had done. And if we would have just manned up to begin with as boys, say, guess what, we messed up and we was doing something we really weren't supposed to do, and we fell on the stump hole down here. And I could just imagine his daddy, the way his daddy was. He'd probably say, well, I guess you're going to have to call a record and you're going to have to pay for it to get that truck out of there. Teach us a life lesson on that. But the way we handled it, we made things worse for us. And we learned a life lesson out of it, all right, but it wasn't one that was very pleasant for us to learn. So, when we are going through life, whether you ask for it or not, sometimes, if you've done something and you fall in the stump hole and you brought it on yourself, sometimes you just got to own it. You got to own it, and you got to accept the consequences for your actions and what you've done. It's yours. You created it, you did it. You was doing whatever, and it happened. And then if you're going through life and different things that has happened to you that you didn't ask for, it's just life is unfair, life is what it is. Well, both of these situations can kind of go like this. You got to step back and look at this thing and think about what you need to do. Because when you start trying to take care of things and do stuff on your own without, really assessing the thing and seeing the best angle and the best thing for the long range outcome of things, that how it's going to affect you later on or in the present or whatever it may be. When you're just trying to fix it real quick and to make it go away, sometimes that's not the best way to handle things. Now, there's things that happen in life we have to make some, fast decisions on. A lot of things that happen to us, we have enough knowledge and wisdom and experience where, we know how to make some quick decisions on certain things. But if it's something, that you really fell into in life, that you're in the stump hole and your hood's sticking down, there's nothing but way out but the back glass and you got to crawl over the tailgate. Yeah, that's a big one. And that can be tough and that can be hard. And those are the times that, you really may need to slow down for a minute and say, okay, do I need to ask for help right now? I'm in over my head here. I can't handle this all on my own. Because here's the thing that I've learned for myself being at this age. When I have gotten in a place or have gotten myself in a place that I'm over my head and I'm continuously trying to cover something up, I'm continuously carrying that thing around with me all throughout my life or everywhere I go. Oh, it may go away for a little while. I may forget about it for a little while, or I may get some relief from it for a little while. But until I really get to the solution of the problem and really face it or really own up to it, it's always there. I believe there's some of y'all that have fell in stump holes of life, and you've been in stump holes for 20, 30, 40, 50 years in your life. And you may have stuck your head in the dirt hoping that, this is going to go away or it's going to get better, or you don't want to face the music or you don't want to deal with it. But if it's always on your mind and you're always coming back to the problem that you're in from somewhere or something else, you're you're having to face it. You may not be facing the direct thing, but it's controlling your life. It's consuming you in some ways. It's affecting you in a lot of different ways in life. So, for you younger people out there, before you go play in the mud, think about the long-term consequences of what could possibly happen. What if you fall in the stump hole? How would it affect your life? How would it affect you as a person? Because before you go play in the mud, you got to know there may be a hole out there that you'll fall in, and there's going to be a price to pay. There's going to be a problem to deal with. See, what we did is we kept bringing other people and other things into our problem, just making it worse. Instead of just saying, hey, I need help now. I need direction now. I'm going to wrap this up with this right here. Us people that have lived a little life, we face some stump holes in our life. We face some things in our life, and we have been through some things. Well, there's an old saying goes, if I can get this right, if it happens to me once and you get me once, shame on you. If I allow it to happen to me twice, or I let you get me twice, shame on me. The things that we have fell into in life, and the things that we have faced in life, and the things that we have been through in life, the hard things, the things that we've been through, we should have learned lessons from those and built on those lessons. Because there's certain things that we've been through, everything, and we'll say, hey, We don't want to go through that again. Or maybe you go through something, or something come up and say, hey, I recognize this, and I'm not going to allow this to happen, or I'm going to handle this way. Just my thought for today. I think I introduced myself in the beginning of this, but my name is Jeff, and I'm over 50, and I just like to share different things, and I hope maybe today that this story and the maybe help this, apply this to your life in some way, maybe to help you. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind whatsoever. I just share things, and it's up to you what you do with it. Y'all have a great day.